back with another live stream, and I did a little short one a while ago on the new YouTube live streaming from mobile that you can do, which won't work on my phone because I only have Android 4.3. You got to have Android 5 plus or 5 or more, newer. So anyway, now I'm back. I'm going to get back to work on my Linksys router. And, I've done some testing and stuff, and I'll show you how it turned out. And let's just start out on the desktop here. And I believe I will go ahead and gotta copy some files over to my little backup, my little SD card too. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. What do I got? Yeah, okay. I didn't copy. I just copied what I actually needed onto that. There it looks like. There it is, Linksys. Oh, that's backwards from the way I actually want. No, that is backwards from the way I wanted it. Swap sides. That's a cool feature. I hardly ever use it, but when you need it, it's pretty cool. Okay. Now I've already written the DD-WRT version 24 micro generic on there, and there are two slightly different versions, different builds. I had the 13 something build, and I went ahead and downloaded the 14.896 build because I thought it possibly could be better. So I don't know if that new name that I gave it will be a problem. On my machine, they showed to be slightly different size on the website, on the DD-WRT website, but they show the same on my computer, which depends on what app you get in it to exactly what size it shows. Both of them show to be 1.7 megabytes. I guess because it's kind of rounding off because they're very, very close. So I'm going to copy that over, and I guess we'll find out. I saw in some videos I watched before I started doing my own router that renaming files was a trick you could use to get some things to work. I think it was, from what I remember, I think it was when they were trying to restore them back to the original firmware. So let's see. Now I've got some screenshots in here. Get them back in like normal. Yeah, I think alphabetical order probably worked the best. We'll see. Actually, maybe newest to oldest. Let's just try it like that and we'll see. I don't know if they're going to go in the right order or not when I show them. Okay, so this is an old screenshot of the original Linksys by Cisco firmware. I don't think we can go back. Yeah, okay, there's nothing to go back to. This is an old screenshot, but there you go. That's what it used to look like, and just my first setup page or something. Oh, okay. Can you zoom in here? Speed test. Yeah, I'd actually forgotten. So I guess the best thing to do is get out of there so that I can zoom in. Okay. So I didn't think about it before. What I did was my plan. I took my TP-Link router out of being my main router, and I replaced it with the Linksys. And then I was going to put DD-WRT on my TP-Link. Well, I thought, maybe I should do a speed test before I go any further. And here's what I got. I got 60 megabits internet, and I usually get, lately, the last several months, I've been getting about 65 megabits on my speed test. And I got 42.4 megabytes on that one. 9.25 upload, which is about what I've been getting in the last couple of weeks. I used to didn't get near that much. It's been getting a little better. They're in the process. They have already upgraded. They've already upgraded to 100 megabits here in my area, and they're trying to get you to pay more money to get that and everything. I'm just waiting for any time now for them to say, okay, we no longer offer this. They do this every time they upgrade the speed. They'll say we no longer offer this speed, and now we're going to give you the faster speed, and you're going to pay more whether you like it or not. So that'll probably be happening. And I've thought about, adding more services. Of course, that's what they want you to do. But add more services. So if I'm going to pay more, at least I ought to get more. But usually it never works out. You know, it's not worth the extra money. You don't get that much more services. So we'll see what happens. There's the next. That looks like the same one again. It probably is because it seems to be exactly the same. And then let's see. Unless I did several tests in a row that end up being the same speed. Yeah, here's one that's 43 and a little bit, 9.8 megabits. And so I never got any better than that. And I remember getting one or two that were slower. Then I started looking for other speed test sites to go to. That was my IP address when I was doing it. Let's see. That would be the wrong IP address. So this is not while it was plugged in. That IP address would be with me on a different modem router, because that's not the right IP address that it would have on the Linksys. Wondering. Oh, that's on my laptop. That's what it is, because it has. No, it's not. That's not Wi-Fi. VBRO is not a laptop. I don't think. No, I've forgotten. I didn't. Let me glance over at it so I can tell right quick. I won't. I don't have the remote. I've got the laptop up and going, but I don't have the remote desktop. Let's see. Oh, I don't have a. Yeah, this is KDE desktop, and I'm not accustomed to it. I use Mate. It's like the original Genome tube. That's what I like. So anyway, whatever. That was me looking for other speed tests. I know that, and I put that. I kind of vaguely remember putting that up there so I would have it. But I don't know. That wouldn't have been on. I put that in this folder by mistake, actually. Then. Okay, here's another one, 44.3, and the upload went down to 5.8 on that site. And then there's another one, 45, and the upload was faster. And there's 64. Now that is when I don't have a note of that so anywhere. I was trying to keep them separate from each other, you know, like well, I guess the last time I did probably did that. I think I kind of remember the original time I copied these files over into this folder. I only copied the ones that were for the Linksys, and the other ones I copied to my folder for the TP link, but it looks like I messed up. So anyway, that one is my speed. I know that just because I remember it. That's my speed. Oh, it says the name of the file, TP link router. My speed test 11.5.17. So that's what it went back up to. I just as soon I took out the Linksys and put my TP link back in there, and it went right back up to normal. I kept thinking, well, maybe I've been having trouble with the internet. It's been going down in like 2 or 3 in the morning for 30 minutes to one night it was down for almost 4 hours, and I was up that night too. It was really pissed me off. So this one, yeah, Linksys. I didn't think about paying attention to the. And this one, Linksys. That says Linksys router. Maybe this was when I had it plugged into the laptop, and I was just, this is not a speed test. I mean, I was just searching for speed test. I really don't remember. That got me kind of thrown off there. Oh, the date. The date would help. What's the date? See, yeah, it doesn't have that date written in there. Neither do those. 11.5.17. Now I could look at the information and see the date maybe. I don't see the date of the file. Okay, so, well, I can just go look at the files here in a second then. So anyway, that's what happened. So I decided, that this thing is not going to be useful on the wired connection. And I was hoping, I was concerned all along that because I knew port 4, and port 4 did not work either. I tried hooking it up and it wouldn't work at all. It wouldn't do anything. Let's see the dates on these files. Yeah, they were all on 11.5.17, except for that. Wait a minute, did they get the wrong? That one that was the old original. Oh, there it is, way down there. Yeah, see, that was a 1.30.13. That one with the old original firmware. So yeah, those are all from the same day and everything, at least. All right, so I have come to the conclusion that the poor little Linksys has just worked itself to death. It's see where the red tape is on the back there. That's the port 4 that won't work anymore. For a while there, it was working and not working kind of intermittently, and I finally decided to take it out of my chain of routers. I have 3 that I have to have these, at least these 3 that I have chain together, just to have enough ports to plug everything in here. And but this one has the strongest Wi-Fi signal of any router I've ever had. My newer TP-Link, a whole lot newer TP-Link. Actually, the Linksys is an older router than I've got a TrendNet that's crappy, worst Wi-Fi I ever had out of a router. And it was newer than the Linksys, I'm pretty sure. And then the other one is a Netgear router. My very first router is just a wired router. And then the TP-Link, it looks, it has the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz and 3 antennas, and it looks really like it would really do well, but it doesn't. The signal just drops in half by the time you get into the living room from in here. This is at one end of the house, and the living room is kind of in the middle if you count the garage, so it is pretty much in the middle. But there is a bedroom with lots of walls in between me and the living room. And then anyway, the Linksys, when it was hooked up in here, it would go out. You could go out into the garage and still have a pretty good signal. So if the wired connection is too slow to even fool with, I mean, I don't want to use it like that. I can't even get 60 megabits out of it. I mean, if I was using it, even though if you were just using it between computers, you should get like close to 100 megabits, not 42 to 45. So, and it's probably just failing. It'll probably just quit working one day. That's what I'm gathering. But I do want to try one more time. I want to try different because, I read a lot of things on their websites, the DD-WRT websites, about if you have trouble with Wi-Fi and being slow or dropping, try different firmware, So I thought, well, I'm not having, I don't know about the Wi-Fi, but I think seems like I did test it when I had it on Wi-Fi. I'll test it. That's one of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to plug it back into the laptop and test it. And let's see. I can't remember if I have it set up as a repeater or not. I'll have to just plug it in and see. And anyway, I'll test it and I'll put that other firmware on it. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go to desktop, and then because I will get on the what I'll do is get my remote desktop software up and going, and connect to the laptop, and I can be showing what I'm doing. And we'll just take it one, as go here. Every time I shut that app down, it loses my password. So I'm getting that set up. Okay, now let's see if I can connect to it. I think it'll still have the same IP that it had last time because I'm still on the TP-Link. Didn't work. Try one more time. forgot to get it all ready before I started like I usually do. And so now I'm going to have to. My Wi-Fi is deactivated. Oh. I guess that happened when I plugged it. Well, the router's not on. That shouldn't have hurt anything. When you plug in the router, let's see, which way? Oh, no, if you plug it into the WAN port, then it will turn off your Wi-Fi. Something happened to my Wi-Fi, though. Let's see. Yeah, that's the one I want. I don't know what happened with it, but it was deactivated. It's always something. Let's see if I got back on there now. Okay, it's activated, connected. Okay, now maybe I can get on there. Yeah. There we go. I don't know what made it do that. Now what is it asking me? Oh, I don't want to update software right now. Worry about that later. 25 updates. Boy, they're coming up with a lot of updates with this domain system. Well, I don't turn it on every day, so none of this. I set my systems up to automatically update, not ask me for passwords. Once I log in, everything should work. But this one, it asks you for a password every time you turn around. And the Wi-Fi, every time when it disconnected like that just now, I had to put the password in again. I tried to figure out how to save it with the K-Wallet for KDE, and it doesn't do it. But the K-Wallet's running and everything else, but it's not doing it. So, and the crazy thing is I think K-Wallet is actually what I am using to save my passwords on my Mate system, my Fedora 23 with Mate desktop here that I'm on. So I don't know. I don't want to fool with that right now. That's not what I'm here for. So it's a brand new system, and I haven't tweaked it out or done anything to it. So, and it's domain, and I'm used to using Fedora 99% of the time. So let me see. What was I going to do? Okay, I got my desktop up and running, and I will need to copy one of the things I need to do. I already did that. I copied my other firmware over here. I don't think there's really anything else I need. Over there on that, don't need to just copy stuff, you know. Well, there's not a whole heck of a lot of space. There's 1.7 gigabyte left, so, you know, that's not a ton of space. So I won't copy more than what I need onto there. Get back the way I like. That way I can kind of make sure, as long as my video file is getting bigger, then I know I'm making a video. And let me get that out now where I can put it into the desktop. I mean, get it out of the desktop so I can put it into the laptop. Okay, so popping up junk, asking me what I want to do. Okay. I think I'll check my live stream right now. I feel mixed up, so I don't know if everything's working right. I think I might have missed trying to click my little button there to get me to my live stream. I think I missed it. Got allergies again today. It's cooled off, and we've actually had our windows shut and the heaters running, and I've had more allergy than I did the last couple weeks when I had the windows open. And I thought that was bad then. Well, actually, right now I do have the window open because it was getting too hot in here. Everybody, I get hot when everybody else is cold. That right there, I keep wondering what it is. Upload is complete. Yeah, that was like I was testing, trying to do a live stream from the phone. Okay, it all looks good. Let's make sure the audio's all working and everything. Yeah, okay, audio's working. Want to make sure that was good. And now, got my file over there. First, I want to boot up the router. Now, I actually don't, like I said, I don't even remember. Maybe get it plugged in. Well, let's wait till my web browser opens up. I'll plug in the router, let it boot up, and if I can get to the admin page, then it's in regular mode, and if it's not, then I had left it in repeater, wireless repeater. It's in regular mode, I think. Yeah, that's the last thing I did with it. Okay. It's not going to go there because it's not even booted up. Let me boot it up. Okay, it's plugged in now. I'll wait till it gets booted up, and then I'll reload that page. But kind of think that I don't remember the password I gave it. Let's see. Wired connection activated. Oh, wired connection. Okay. I was going to say, did that? I thought well, has my wireless been disconnected again? But no. If it was, I wouldn't be remote controlling the desktop, would I? I guess that means it's finished booting up, though. Oh, I still don't have the right thing here. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's reload that because I might be able to get in there. Yeah, okay. Oh, and I don't have to remember. I saved the password in my web browser, so I don't even need to type it in there. Okay, so how can I do? Oh, I wanted to do a speed test. That's why I never did any speed tests before, because I'm doing, in order for to show this on my video, I'm using my TP-Link's Wi-Fi, and as soon as, and then to do a valid speed test. I mean, I can do a speed test, but I think we're getting a little slow here. I could do a speed test, but it would be on my TP-Link router, not the Linksys. Actually, the Linksys is not even connected to the internet right now. I'm just connected to, to port 1, and I can get into the admin interface. Desktop sharing disconnected. Why? Well, let's just close that connection and connect again. I don't know what happened. I could see that over on the laptop screen, but I couldn't see it on this screen. Now what? At least I'm using a laptop but not another desktop. That would be a real pain. Wi-Fi is still connected. Okay. Okay. I do not know why I'm having trouble with that. It's kind of like my Wi-Fi is acting up on my TP-Link. I rebooted the router before I started all of my streams to make sure it was in good shape and wasn't all full. And let me see if my app is still running that does the there's a whole bunch of notes and telling me what's going on, notifications. I don't see my little app, my little it looks almost like my desktop sharing app is closed itself or something. Well, just redo everything again. What I had done was I had figured out you could hit the X on the app and it would still stay running in the background, but I mean I did that a lot but way before I started, so it's still not letting me in there. Let me close this app and open it back up. Maybe I don't remember. No, I've been able to do this before. I'd say maybe because I'm, got it plugged in to the router by the wired connection. Well, let me unplug that and try again. Yeah, wired connection deactivated. See, it didn't help. Well, that's aggravating as all get out. Okay. What can I do? I think I can do one thing. Let me see. Instead of fiddling around with that forever, let's get my cameras. I'll just put it on cameras 1 and 2. Okay, now I'm going to grab my camera, point it at the laptop, and it'll be blurry, when I point it at the laptop, but it's better than nothing. Okay, I'm going to have to go to my lapel mic because I can't pull my mic back out. I've got my mic stand sitting right where my mic arm for my big SM58 would need to go. So we will change mics. Okay. what I'll do then is have a cable over here that goes to my, goes to the internet, goes to one of my other routers, and I'll just plug it in the WAN port. What's wrong with this thing? Oh no, it's broke. Oh yeah, it's been broke. I forgot. Well, it'll stay in there just fine. Luckily, it's one that's kind of tight when you plug it in. So now it'll be on the the laptop should be on the internet from the wired connection, and I can do the speed tests and everything. It still ought to be just fine on the router. I think I'm on this. Yeah, I'm on the status page. It was set up. Yeah, I've got it. Got the password saved in there, so I can just click on. That makes it easier. I named it Linksys DD-WRT, and I don't know what I have set up on the wireless. Oh, well, I named it. Let's see. I got to move my camera a little bit. See if I can get it aimed back at it properly. It's pretty tricky when it's that far. It's really far behind from what I'm seeing. It's like not responding well here. I try to keep my power plugged in. I think I can get it to just reach. There we go, because otherwise my battery's going to want to run down. There. It's actually, I can't turn the camera anymore to get it more straight on. But what I'm trying to get here is get my wireless keyboard up here. Ah, there we go. Oh, I can turn it. I was thinking in the wrong, no, I wasn't thinking in the wrong direction. It just delays so much, it confuses me. Okay. Now, keyboard. What was I going to do on the keyboard? Oh. Yeah, that could have been my problem. Yeah, that probably what did it. I had named the wireless SSID. I had named it. Let me go back over here to status. I had named it the TP link, the exact letter for letter name. Let's see, where is the router name? I'm going to just give it an SSID the same as the router name. I had named it that so that it would be basically what do you call it, a rogue router, I spoofed my router. I spoofed my TP link by giving my wireless connection of my TP link by giving it the exact same name, and it worked perfectly. I didn't have to. All the other devices that are used to connecting to the TP link were happy. The laptop, I knew they would be because the laptop was happy. Yeah, you want AP, wireless network mode mixed, that's fine. Linksys WRT, that's fine. So that's what knocked out my Wi-Fi, just it was messing up my Wi-Fi. It was, this one was broadcasting the same SSID and fighting, since it's not set up as a repeater, it's set up on its own, but it had the same name, so it was fighting with, pretty sure that's what happened. It was fighting with my TP link. Now it shouldn't be fighting with it. Go to the security. And now that all these new ways they've figured out how to crack into wireless routers, the only one they're saying is safe enough to use is WPA2 personal and AES. Don't use TKIP. You could use enterprise, but they say that I watched a real good video from a guy that actually, the guy that learned how to, that discovered these vulnerabilities, and he said don't try to get into the don't try to get into the enterprise. It's really complicated. And if you know if you're just a home user and all that. So and I did look into it myself once or twice over the years, and I was like, whoa, that's hard. So where am I? Yeah, okay. I didn't want to change any of that. I went ahead and hit save because I knew I didn't change anything, and I had to do something. Well, I could have just hit the back button, I guess, but anyway, that's what I did. I hope I didn't jack it up. Oh, channel 3. I put it on channel 3 because that's a clearer area in my. By using my mobile phone, I could see what areas of the channels were cleaner, less competition. I'll leave it there. But my measuring of the internet speed was not measuring on the Wi-Fi, it was measuring on the wired connection. My problems I was just talking about. So now, and still, this is broadcasting, but nothing, this is broadcasting on channel 3, Linksys DD-WRT now, or it will be when I hit apply settings and reboot, but it's not what's connecting me to the internet. Let's make sure we are connected to the internet. We should be. I'm going to go ahead and reboot the router. Well, I could do a speed test first, I guess. And Google worked. Let's go ahead and try that. Let's just do a search for speed test. That way I'll have a few links to use. That's the one I used to use all the time. But actually it got to where it was like not working right all the time. I think it was too busy. Whoops. But I think it'll be all right. Like the other day when I used it, it was fine. So we'll do that, and then I'll reboot the router, and then I'll see. It doesn't look like it's going to be the 60 megabits like it should be. It'll fool you if you just sit there watching it. You'll think, oh, it's terrible. And then when it's done, it shows, see, it was only 34.55. That's going through. Now that, in this case, you might, it could be that much slower because it's going from the Linksys to the, whatever router that cable's plugged in. I think it's TrendNet, and then to the TP-Link. So it's not like directly connected to the modem, of course, and it's not directly connected even to the TP-Link. So let's see if I can do a screenshot on that. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't close the dialog on this one when I'm done saving my screenshot. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and reboot the router and see if it changes any. Watch it there. Okay, the Cisco light's down. I'll wait till the Cisco light's back up before I happened to notice it was on just when I looked over there before it really was, had rebooted. And would kind of like to have it to where you could see the lights, but you can't really stand it up on its cables, so I never have. I could maybe figure out some way to prop it up. Okay, the Cisco light's back on. But of course, well, if I point it at the camera, then I can't see it because it would be pointing straight up in the air because I got that camera up above it. So, okay, let's try the same speed test again, and then we'll try a different one too. The one that has all the different extra meters, I could try it too, but sometimes that site gets too busy for it. It can't keep up, and it just gives errors. I like it. It has the most information of any speed test site I've ever seen. but it also can be problematic. Doesn't look to me like it's going to be any faster. Looks like it might be, yeah, it might. They're not going to make it to 40. So, and I will have to say that, you know, there could be some difference between the 40, 45 that I was getting the other day that connected directly to the modem. There's bound to be some difference. But actually what I can do is disconnect the wire and test it again and see if it's any faster. Usually on the laptop I usually get the 54 megabits with the, you know, when I'm on Wi-Fi I usually get the full 54 megabits. What do we get out of that? 38. Okay. Didn't close. Why don't you close? Don't want you staying up. Okay. When you do a search for speed test, you don't even see that one that at least not on the first page. Let's go to, let's go make sure that's all good. Yeah, it's all back up to where I can get to it. Okay, SourceForge. Probably have been there. Whoops. SourceForge.net. I'm using that wireless keyboard. I can't type that good on it. It's the best wireless one I've ever used, but for me, speed test. I get it? I can just see that screen and read it. Now that I'm not using a remote desktop, it's, you know, I'm having to look over there and it's tiny. But source, I've got it spelled wrong. I just saw it. Source FPFORGE.net. See if that's right. Okay, this is it. Now, where do I have that? I got it in my bookmarks. I got it in my bookmarks toolbar. Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay, so this one, it does a little more detailed test. Let's see what we get out of it. Tells you the latency ping. It tells you how long that is. That's quite a bit longer, it looks like, than, well, it's not done yet. But, oh, I think it's not. I think, see, sometimes it'll hang right there and it'll finally give you an error. It keeps trying and it won't work. It'll not work. Now, see, that shows it to be faster. So, you know, that's one reason why I go ahead and use more than one speed. If I really seriously want to know, you know, I use 2 or 3, 4 different speed test sites. Now, that's back to the same results I was getting on this site the other day. See, I didn't think there was really, usually there's not that much difference between being back, as long as my routers are working okay, and I rebooted my TP-Link, and then not too long after that, I noticed I got a notice saying my server was down because my server's on the TrendNet. So most of the time you're fine when you reboot the TP-Link, and the TrendNet just connects right back up because I have my IP set to to always give the same IP. And sometimes it doesn't, and I lose my server's down on the internet. And so then I got to reboot the TrendNet, and so I had done that. So it's just been rebooted, so it's pretty fresh. Now the Netgear, which is plugged into the TrendNet, if I was trying to use it, it would probably not even be connected to the internet or to anything right now. I'd have to reboot it, but it doesn't matter as long as none of those machines are on and I'm not using them. So, not bad. Let's see, you can hit print screen and then hit enter, and then and that didn't come back up. Well, thank you. Is this thing voice activated? That's what I expected to do, just to go away. See, this one uses a lot of browser resources. Actually, I think it uses more than any other. Oh, there it is. And you see, it makes me think it didn't work. And so I'll go ahead and hit save as, and I end up with multiple copies. So screenshot with no delay. I like to have at least 4-second delay. I don't see any other settings. I do like include mouse pointer. Okay. I don't know. It's not behaving properly. Don't like that. Okay, so let's try another screen screen test. Another screen test, Mr. DeMille. Okay, that's an old movie joke from the olden days, like with Marilyn Monroe movies. I'm ready for my screen test, Mr. DeMille. Yeah, that's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she really said. Miss Marilyn. Or somebody did in the movie. It was funny at the time. If you were a little kid watching old movies while you were growing up. See, that's what was on TV when I was growing up. It was all those old 30s, 40s, and 50s movies. All the Marilyn Monroe and the Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. And okay, 38. See, that one shows 38. See, I should just be able to hit print screen, hit enter, but instead that stupid thing comes back up again. And it's already saved it. At least I think it has. And the upload speed is back to down to what is actually what my official upload speed is, 4 megabits. But my internet speed is 60 megabits. Now let's try that speakeasy one. By the way, if you hold down Control and then click on a link, it'll open it up in a new tab, and you won't lose where you were at. So if you didn't already know that. Speakeasy. This is one I used to use a long time ago, and then it got to where, I think it got to where it was using up too many browser resources, but it was everything used Flash back then. Now I think everything's pretty much moved to HTML5, but HTML5 can be good, or it can be use even more resources than Flash. I thought it was going to save us from the dreaded Flash, but it's actually hammering our machines even more, my machines even more than Flash did. Yeah, see, that upload speed was even slower. Okay, so it's no different, and the only conclusion I really can come to is that router. Well, first I'll put on another version of the firmware. I'm going to go ahead and unplug, and then I'll come to my final conclusion is whether or not the router is just not working. The hardware's messed up. That's just. There may be some chips that have almost died or died on it of some sort, and there's nothing I can do about that. I don't know. I know enough to be dangerous, as they say, and that kind of thing. I could fix like crack solder joints and stuff like that, but those tiny little surface mount components and everything I couldn't see to get them on and off of there anyway, even if I knew which ones. But I mean, there's probably thousands of components on just that little board. I've had it apart and looked at it. My first video shows me doing that. Shows that. First video about the Linksys. Okay, so I unplugged it from the laptop. Now let's check our internet connection. I might be able to get back. Oh, I grabbed the wrong mouse. I might be able to get back on the, and that's with them both plugged in. But what I have discovered is when you plug in the wired connection, it takes over on, at least in this DB-8 operating system, it takes over. Actually, in DB-8 KDE, I think if you're in Mate, you can. My older Fedora system I used to have on this laptop, I had it set up to share both connections. I thought anyway, But anyway, let's look at the connection settings. Okay, so we have our wireless connection. Now let me go ahead and try. I'll go ahead and even switch this. What do we want? 2 in desktop. Now let's go 1 in desktop so you can see the camera and then my desktop over here. Let's see if I can connect to it now. There we go. I think I was right. I think my problem was that my rogue Wi-Fi router, my rogue Wi-Fi. I had a rogue Wi-Fi. I had it. I forget what the name they use. The kids call it, you know. But anyway, I was spoofing my own Wi-Fi. I did it on purpose because I wasn't going to be running the TP-Link. But when I had them both running, I think that's when I got that weird behavior. Okay, that shows, you know, the data that's going through there. That's what I was thinking, you know, that could be useful. Now let's go back and just start with speed test at Okula. Uh-oh, I didn't, oh, I was on the wrong keyboard. No, I was on the right keyboard. I guess I just didn't do it right. Yeah, I somehow dragged that link in with my, I don't know what I did. Okay, so let's do this speed test here and see what happens. This is on Wi-Fi. What? Oh, that was, I saw the ping at 10. I thought, well, that's terrible. Okay, look at that. That's terrible. Well, I am streaming. Well, no, I'm not streaming over the Wi-Fi. Oh, well, I'm streaming my cameras. I'm streaming 2 cameras right now. Or, well, I mean, they're always sending out data. Now, how much of it's being, I don't know. I think they're streaming through the Wi-Fi and I'm either accepting it or not on my desktop, you know, to send out to YouTube. So yeah, I guess I'm not going to get a very good test on my Wi-Fi right now. But there you go. That's what I'm getting. That's what the wireless is getting right now, is 16. No wonder it's so slow to respond. Now I'll have to hit the back button because I messed up. It doesn't want to close. I'm going to use the mouse, the wireless mouse, instead of the remote desktop mouse. What is it doing? It won't close. Well, not there. You just have to be angry with it and keep clicking it. Okay, so here's what I'll do then. Let's just go straight to desktop, and then I won't. That'll be good on my I guess I could test my internet connection. Let's test the internet connection on my main desktop, the one I'm streaming from. Let's make sure I'm not in trouble with my TP-Link router. Okay. Speed test, let's see. I'll just use that one. And it seems fine. I mean, it loaded this page up pretty quick, and sometimes this page is slow to load. It's got a lot of junk on it, a lot of ads and everything. Well, and I use AdBlock Plus, so this is just the stuff that, you know, it lets it load. You know, these things have so many ads on them. I tried to run them on the smart DVD player in the living room, and there's so much crap on there that I couldn't run the speed test. The machine just almost completely locked up. The browser locked up to where it wouldn't do anything. Now our upload speed is looking pretty slow, but I am uploading, you know, my live stream right now, so that could, you know, a while ago it was looking really good, but now it's not looking so good. But maybe doing all these speed tests is not a good thing to do while I'm doing my live stream. Guess I better go check my live stream. Oh yeah, this one, so it does not display well at all. Not in Firefox, and I don't know if it displays any better, but you can't even read it. I usually do the share thing and email it to myself, but don't really want it. But it's 61.16.307. That's what it is. So, you know, the normal speed, the internet speed is okay. I've already got the browser open. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Yeah, I think I can put my camera back up. Oh, that's what's going on here. Oh, I turned my camera. I knew there was something strange about it. Darn it. Now my camera won't stay. All of a sudden the darn thing, it must have came loose or something. Okay, so, but my stream is good, right? Okay. Sorry, I'm in trouble with my camera. Let's see, what am I showing? Desktop? Yeah, well, let's just stay on the desktop so that I won't be, that's the, I think I'll close that extra page there. Okay, DD-WRT. I need to grab a screwdriver out of my toolbox. My camera that I used to show myself, or the one I was showing the laptop with, no, that's not it. Something just went, it just came, let's see. Yeah, that's what should make it tight. Oh, right there. Oh, that's not helping. I need to put a shim in there or something, I guess. It's pretty weird. I can't show it to you without moving cameras around like crazy, so there's no point in all that. But the little short tripod that I use, that's the one the camera that I aimed at the laptop. All of a sudden, it wouldn't stay. And as a matter of fact, I don't think it's gonna stay. I'll try it. See. Yeah, it's cut my head completely off, and it won't stay in between. Wait, maybe it will. Yeah, it's up too high. Okay, I'll leave it alone now. All right, so I'll just leave these the way they are, I guess. These keyboards. I've got them both on here. Back to desktop again. All right, now what was I trying to do? Okay, my speed test. Let's see, I was doing speed tests on Wi-Fi, wasn't I? I could do one more on one of the other. Where's my little search for speed test? Is that it? Well, that's Speakeasy. Let's see, I didn't do that one yet. I'll just do that one. Sorry. Yeah, let me get off this. I finally got, that was one of the things, what I was trying to do, to get back on my other mic. Let's see. Oh, I'll wait while we're showing the speed test right now. And I'll switch, because if I switch my desktop, you won't see the speed test anymore. You'll see whatever I look at is what you'll see, because I'm doing this just desktop. And I'm going to put my other wireless keyboard back up on the thing in the second tier there. Okay, 17.2 and 2.9, yeah. So the Wi-Fi is pretty slow right now. I guess I'm really using it a lot. I mean, no, I am using it quite a lot. So, blank. What was I fixing to do? Oh, change mics. Okay, now we're back on the SM58. Okay, now, now I'm going to plug in the Cam 2 and desktop's what I want. Cam 2 and desktop. Okay. Now I'll plug the wire connection back in, and I should be able to work on this. Now what I want to do is update it. Now what I'm wondering is, do I need to do a 30-30-30 reset? That's what they tell you to do, and there's one reason why I could think why you really might. They tell you to do that before you do any kind of, you know, flashing or anything. I keep calling it flashing. Well, it is kind of, they usually call that when you're flashing a chip, they call it flashing the ROM. So I don't see them using those terms on the DD-WRT side, but I've been messing around, learning about it, messing around with embedded systems for several years now, and that's one of the. Well, usually they use. First time way I learned talking about flashing ROM was with, you know, automobile computers, but they're all, you know, it's all the same thing. It's an embedded system on a chip. You know, is what it is for the routers, automobile computers, or you know, TI MSP430s or Adrenos or whatever. You know, so. So if I use the wrong term, sorry. That's just, everything rolls through my head, in and out, back and forth. So, but anyway, what I want to do is I go in here and do a firmware upgrade. Am I on? Yeah, desktop and camera 2. Okay, make sure I am showing what I'm trying to show. But what I'm thinking is, after flashing, reset to, don't reset. Reset default settings. Oh, okay. It makes it seem like you wouldn't really have to, you know, do the, if I do the 30-30-30 reset, then, oh, it makes it look like I could upgrade that and not lose the settings I have in here. But if I do a 30-30-30 reset, then I'll be back at the first welcome screen. And, you know, they'll tell me, put your password in there. You know, they don't let you go any further till you make a new password. So I'm wondering if, you know, that's actually necessary. But there's one thing, if at a 30-30-30 reset, it's back to the default password. And if the, I'm wondering if these, you know, when you flash it with a new firmware, does it need the default password in order to work? I kind of would think it would, you know, because if you got your own password in there, then it might refuse to flash, you know, the system might. But I do remember seeing a video where a guy says, well, they tell you to do that, but I'm not going to do it. And he, you know, somebody that had been doing it a lot, you know, doing this a lot. And actually, this will only be my second time, well, third counting. I did the VxWorks Killer, and then I did the basic bin, basic V24 version, and now I'm going to do the next, a different version of the, still V24, but it's a different, can't say my right words, it's a different, I'm going to do build 14896, that's what I'm going to do. I have build 13 so-and-so. The other thing is I did rename the file so that I know which one was which, because I noticed they had the same name. I don't know if that'll hang it up or not either. Click the browse button. Doesn't say, like, you know, you need to do the reset. I do know I watched a guy do it without resetting the thing. I don't want to, you know, hang it up to where I have to like do some fancy TFTP stuff to fix it. That's the thing. But from what from everything I'm gathering about all this, I don't think you do. Don't reset. Do reset. I'm going to try with the don't reset because it looks to me like you could with no problem. So I guess the last time I was in anything, unless I copied that over. Oh, I had to copy. What was it? Oh, yeah, I was needing to, when I was doing the TFTP, to copy. That's how I had to get this one on there. First I ran, yeah, that's a backup file there. This one here, I had to TFTP it in there. So I had to copy it to my regular downloads folder because I couldn't do it I couldn't do it from my little drive. File permission problem. So let's copy it over there. But I was going to say that's home on downloads. Let's see. That's where I'm going to want to put it. So let's get over here and get in my little drive. I think I'll take that drive out of there before I do that too. I'm gonna I think I'll hit the synchronize button. Synchronize directories. Let's just do left to right. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, bootloader backup. I don't think I've copied that over yet. I backed up the bootloader, so let's, doesn't look like I have. It's still just on this domain system. Do it again. This time I'll say both ways. Compare, synchronize, start. Yeah, okay. So now my bootloader backup is over on there, and I can copy it into my computer. I'm not used to using USBs and SD cards. I always had all my computers network where I could just jump in and out of any one I wanted, but I got to where I haven't been setting them up very quickly, at least on the newer machines, because it's gotten to be harder to do. Used to could do it all in the graphic user interface really quick and easy, and now you've got to go in and edit files and stuff. Sometimes you have to run commands, and it's really kind of mostly because of the security issues, and they're trying to make things more secure. Let's see. I'm like, how do you get that back to the desktop on this thing? It's like, again, it's different. Oh yeah, you don't actually have to be on the desktop to. What do you click on to unmount something in here? Not that. There. Oh, okay. Safely remove. Okay. I think that's it. Now, kind of leave it over there on that left side of my keyboard to remind me to copy those files back over to my main computer at some point here. Okay, now let's try it. There it is. It's the top file, newest file. Open. Okay. Before I hit go, make sure I'm still showing. Let's make sure we're still live on our broadcast before we hit go. Yeah, that adds a little, tension to the broadcast. No, I have tension. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be doing this cool part and then have it not even be shown. So let's make sure all my stream is still good and everything. And then we'll go back and actually do it. Yep, last thing it said. Okay, good. Now let's go. Desktop and camera 2. I want to be able to show the router itself because it'll be rebooting and everything. Okay. So the file, there's the file name right there. And I don't think the name will matter in this case. We'll see. It could, because they both did have the same name. But this is I believe a newer version than the one I have on there, so it really should be an upgrade. The other one was version 13 something or other, and build 13 something or other. This is build 14.896. So that to me would say that it's a newer build. I didn't find anything telling you that for sure, but that's the normal way that they number stuff, you know. So do not power it off. Just wait. Okay, we'll wait. I'm kind of looking over at the lights, and they haven't done anything yet, so it hadn't rebooted yet. I didn't want to take... I started having this drainage problem when I started the video. And I thought, well, I don't want to take a pill because what it does is make you drain like crazy before it dries you up. But now I'm getting in bad shape, so I think I should have took it. While I'm waiting on this, I'm going to run over there and get one. I did miss whatever happened to the lights. They're just all still on like normal. But of course we lost our interface, so it was doing it. We lost connection to the router. But well, of course I was gone. But I don't know if the lights went down and back up already. I wouldn't have expected it to have been that fast, but it could have been. I can go ahead and hit reload, though, just to see. Oh, yes, I want to resend the information. I could have taken out that upgrade.cgi part. I think I will. I want to go back to the main page anyway. It may be still working on it may be still writing the file to it and it hasn't rebooted yet. Just keep waiting and watching, I guess. Oh, it's balancing. I can just barely tell whether or not the Cisco light's on. Let me see if you can see that. Looked like you could. Probably just going to fall over though. If I go put something up next to it, it probably will knock it over. Let me try very carefully to do that. Okay, put my multimeter box. It's pretty heavy. Put that up next to it. Now, I can actually tell if they go off through my preview here. Oh, but now I'm not showing the desktop. Okay, well, I'm going back to the desktop. If I kind of set up in the chair real tall, I can tell whether or not that's the main thing, is when that Cisco light, the white one there, it says Cisco right above it, so I call it the Cisco light. When it goes off and comes back on, then I just thought of something. There was an option of what it said. I might not have told it to reboot. I told it not to change my settings. What did it say? Maybe when it said, did it say reset or no reset? Reset would be like rebooting it, now that I think about it. I was thinking of changing my settings in the system. I'm going to give it a long enough time because I don't want to unplug it and plug it back. It said do not unplug it and plug it back in. I'm going to have to wait. Dadgummit, now I'm stuck waiting and not knowing what's going on. But they do take a good while. As a matter of fact, they'll tell you it could take up to 2 minutes when you're writing the files to them. So when they're writing their files to themselves. Or I could have broke it because that file had a different name. Wouldn't that be fun? Well, it should have. I would have thought, shouldn't have. Yeah, famous last words. I would have thought it would have given some sort of error or something. But these things are not exactly all that fully featured with that sort of thing. They're pretty basic because there's not much space to be adding extra functionality, extra code in there. I may be really sad that I didn't do that 30-30-30 reset. Matter of fact, if I got to where it wouldn't boot back up at all, I would only be able to do that whole JTAG cable thing to get back in there to straighten it out. And I probably would be not wanting to waste time on it because it is not working right anyway. But also hate to see things broken and leave them that way. Some people like to take things apart and make other things out of things. I always want to fix everything. I always want to bring it back to at least its original functionality, and if at all possible, make it better, stronger, faster. I always used to. My first thing I learned my first love, I guess you'd say, was mechanics and building hot rod cars and stuff, and I never wanted to hack a vehicle up or anything. I always wanted it to be all together and look as good as possible. And of course, I had all these dreams of all these things I wanted to build, but I never got to do all that. But I have this feeling. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, but I have a feeling it is not going to just reboot. I think maybe I told it don't reboot. Pretty sure I did. Wish I would have wanted it to just reboot automatically. It would have been much simpler for me. It said reset or don't reset, and I was thinking passwords and settings and all that stuff. But now that I think about it, well, if you're writing a brand new overwriting, however it does it, if it deletes the old bin file and writes a new one or overwrites the bin file, it might need to be the same name so that it would overwrite the original one. I may have just written a second bin file to it with a different name, and the bootloader will be looking for that other file name. Oh man, I kept having a feeling maybe that's not a good idea. Let's see if I can before I do any rebooting or anything, let's see if I can TFTP into it. I already went through all this trying to find a good easy TFTP program that there's TFTP, but I think it's command line interface. I don't think I know enough commands to do that. We'll see if it even opens anything up. I've already tried everything I knew of, every type of FTP program. It doesn't look like it's going to open anything up. Oops. I never did find a, I don't think I have. I was thinking I might have FileZilla or something on there. Crusader will not do TFTP. At least I couldn't get it to do it. But let's try it anyway, because maybe I just didn't have the right, maybe the darn machine wasn't in the right way. Let's see. Yeah. You should be able to just do that. No, protocol not supported. Okay. It said you could do. Said you could do SSH. Now we're out to host. I know you can't just do FTP. I can try PuTTY. I don't know if I have PuTTY on here or not. And I know you can't do just SSH in there like that. Yeah, protocol not supported. Let's see. I already tried Samba. I know it doesn't have a Samba server on it. It's trying though. Internal error. Okay. Let's just get back to normal error. I mean, I might be able to just, manually reboot it and it'll be okay, but I think before I try that, yeah, that Cisco light's still on. I don't know. I may be worrying too much. I may have, may not have done anything to it wrong other than just not telling it to reboot. Let's see. Yeah, I've got PuTTY on here. Which one is the one I want? Oh, PuTTY SSH client, PuTTY SSH client. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, see, there's nothing that says TFTP on here, but it does say SSH. No route to host. That's what I thought. I tried this before. Whenever I knew I did have the, I think I did have the. I tried. I even looked in something. Oh I looked in my firewall and found out that the port was 69 for TFTP. But that didn't work. Yeah. Wouldn't be a serial connection. It wouldn't be a tail connect. I've already tried. Actually, I think I tried everything, but maybe our login. But I don't believe that'll do anything. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I believe I've already done all the. Gotta get that password. What machine is this? Dell 1525 laptop. Okay. I know I tried to find something. Petty Boot Twin. What is that? Can load image files from network using TFTP. Alright, let's see if we can find Petty Boot. Says it's a P-E-T-I-B-O-O-T. I've already got it installed. Says it's a GUI and everything, but it doesn't show up. Doesn't show up. Could have tried to start it in the command line, but TFTP client. Let's try that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that coming up with that. Oh, let's try GUI. Try graphic. They usually say, they don't usually write GUI. They usually, when they're in descriptions, they usually say, what? I don't know what I did. Search. I did something fancy and it's tried to install something. I don't even know what I did. I hit something, some kind of thing on the keyboard I didn't mean to hit. Okay, nothing came up that way. Try GUI then. Nothing comes up that way. I've already done this before, I know, but I just thought I'd try one more time. What's that? Interactive client for trivia file transfer. Oh, you know what? I was trying to do it and I didn't have. I didn't realize I didn't have internet and it wasn't working. Client server system. I don't know if that one is a graphic, though. User interface is probably not. It looks like it could be useful. Again, I don't know if it's graphic user interface, so sometimes they are and they just don't tell you. It won't hurt to have some of those programs, though. But I don't want to just start installing a bunch. You sometimes, especially, it seems like it happens more in. Oh, that's probably the server client. Yeah, see, I have clients on here. I think that's a server. Oh, that's another client. Let's try that one. Anyway, I could get conflict. See, there's me a conflict right there. Okay. So let's forget about that one. That one might be useful. Let's see if it would work. I know curl is a very popular, commonly used. I've used it within apps. Let's try that. To be removed, TFTP HPA. Well, I wasn't able to use it, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let it do it. Hopefully I'm not going to mess anything up. Let's get a screenshot of that first. That's one reason why I do screenshots, so I'll know what I've done. Now, if that thing was going to reboot, it would have rebooted by now, for sure. So, it may not have the TFTP server running. It does always have, they have, let's see, I found that out because I was looking at advice on how to make them run better. I was reading it up on it. If they're slow and stuff, and it said if your cache keeps getting full, failed. Oh, I don't want to fool with that. Yeah, maybe I did try it. I remember having all kinds of trouble doing this before, but I also think I don't know. I may have tried it on the internet and off the internet without realizing it. I'm just going to close this and then say there, Mark. Let's see. I'm going to say quit and forget it. It should deselect them all. All right, let's go ahead and do a reboot. Okay. kind of got it leaning further this time. Oh, there we go. Now I can see it myself, and I think maybe you can too. Let's see. Let's just get on cam 2 and we'll just watch it together here. Yeah, there we go. then when it gets back to like running condition, when that Cisco light comes on, then then I'll try get back on the desktop and everything. If it comes on. But yeah, there's a nice little, if you're I hate to admit it, but there is a nice little Windows app that they give you to use, but I don't even have a Windows machine that I can get out and use quickly and easily because I don't hardly ever use Windows. Other than, I mean, there's just a few things that'll get you like that here and there. Most of the time, I just have everything I need, you know. And I'm sure if I was accustomed to using TFTP all the time, I would have already found my favorite TFTP app, you know, the GUI app that'll do that. I ended up transferring in the command line with they gave you the exact commands, and that's how I transferred that bin file before. But I suppose if well, you got to be able to get into the interface. I was going to say I might be able to do that restore, but not if I can't get back in it. Yeah, I should have known better. You can't really shoot from the hip when you're doing this router stuff. It's not like you can just say, "Oh, well, that didn't work," because you'll break things real quickly. Or maybe they've scared me because they keep telling you don't deviate. But I don't see that. Yeah, the light's not on yet. And sometimes I've noticed it doesn't come back on until, like, you can still get into the interface, but that light's not on, so I'm going to try it. It doesn't come back on until everything is up and going. Actually, I think that only comes on when the Wi-Fi is working, when it's set up and working. So if it's waiting to be set up, then it may not come on. Oh, we're back up. Okay. And DD-WRT V24SP2, I don't know what it said before. I wasn't paying enough attention. I didn't think about it. I'm sure I have a screenshot on here, though, somewhere. I remember making a bunch of screenshots of this page. So I'm kind of wondering if that, SP1 was what the other one was. But okay, we're back up, and we still have our same password and my same names. It didn't make me change the password and everything. So maybe it did do what I thought it was going to do. But I swear it told you in the little message, do not unplug it. But if I wouldn't have, I would have never, unless of course it didn't actually take the HCP clients, Dell 1525. Yeah. And this gave it 112. Yeah, because it's plugged in. And so we should be on the internet. Speed test. Let's go to the Okula. Unable to connect. Try again. Not on the internet? Huh. Let's try doing a speed test search. It don't look like we're on the internet. Okay, wired connection. Me yanking that thing around could have unplugged that cable. I think that's what happened. But I might have to reboot it to get the internet back up on it. Nope. Yeah, the cable was just pulled out just a little bit. That's why I hate when those cables get, the clips broken. They do that to you. Let's do a speed test again. I don't really expect it to be any different though, because I do think that it's a hardware problem. Looks about the same so far. Yep, 3245 down. So what the upload is. So I would not want to use the wired portion of this internet, even if I did use the wireless part for a repeater. What I'm kind of wondering now though is, did I upgrade my firmware? So I've got SB2. Now if I go in here into Crusader and look at my screenshots, maybe I can find, they're not organized in newest. Okay, let's look at all these, just start looking through these screenshots and see if I can find something that says. Okay, this is the one I just did. Oops, let's see. That was my TrendNet router. So that must be the older ones. TrendNet. Okay, oh, look what happens. I was talking about my screenshots. I actually ended up with like a triple shot screenshot or something. There's my speed test I did today. That's from another day, looks like. I don't think they're staying in the order that I expected them to stay in. Let me get out of that. I'll go back to the, ABC order. I don't know how many do I have in there though. No, that's not going to work. Let's see. I just want to go back to, how long has it been since I started working on this? I don't think it was a whole, maybe it was. I don't really remember when I started doing this. 1028. Some of them have longer, different names too, which I don't know. I think that's what throws off where it goes. Start right there, 10.1. I know it wasn't that long. No. I don't really know which way to go is the only thing. Okay, see there's the router firmware before I changed it. V8.0.0.8. That's the build I had of the regular Cisco Linksys firmware. There's me going in there looking at stuff. That was October the 5th. How come it jumped ahead? What's it doing? It won't stay. I hit C1 and it jumps, and I'm not hitting the, I'm using my keyboard to go through it. Maybe it was, oh, it must have been behind. And I kept hitting it, trying to go through there fast. That's not a page that shows you, well, it would if I was at the top of it. But that is the DD-WRT firmware. SP2, I think that's to just now. That was the trend. It's jumping past them. TrendNet. should use my mouse. Maybe this. Yeah, if it's something, I don't know why the keyboard's doing that. Seems fine now, using the mouse. I don't even know what app this is. I always pick my favorite apps. There's the Netgear, the one I keep talking about, the oldest one I have. The first router I ever had, RP54G. That is what the Netgear is. These must be the older screenshots. A lot of times I'll plug the laptop. It's easy for me to get to the laptop to plug it into different things, so I'll plug it in. Especially since it has the wireless, so that I can stay on my network and connect to everything else on my TP-Link at the same time. Use the wire to connect to the other router, so I use it a lot for doing different things. Okay, so that's not helping. Let's go back to the top again. Let's see, let's go there and go. It's not the desktop set. I can't hardly see those little arrows. I like the big, like that, you know, the X's and the squares, rectangles or whatever, rounded off squares. I don't know if I'm going to have a screenshot of what I want. That's from today, I think. SB2. Okay, let's leave it there. Maybe I have one over here on my actual. Let's look in these that I saved. I think those are just, yeah, I just remembered. Those are only the tests. And then there's one screenshot of the Linksys firmware. Okay. But what I could have is, yeah, I'll never find it in there. If I didn't rename it, see, mostly I don't rename them unless I just really have a reason to, because it's just so time consuming. But I've got jillions of them in there, and some of them are actually may have personal stuff too. So no. How am I going to find out? Let's go back to the DD-WRT page. WRT page. Let's just go ahead and get on the desktop now. Oh my gosh. This whole time, that's why I usually keep a split screen between, you know, like say the router and the desktop or whatever, because I'm so prone to forgetting. This whole time, been thinking I was showing you what I was doing, and I was showing nothing but the router and talking about it. Dang it. Okay. I don't know what the website is. There. Just didn't come up. I hit DD and it didn't come up. Oh, it's DD-WRT. That's why. Okay, now I guess I'll have to go to the router database. And how is the easiest way to get to Linksys? Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, I have it right here. There we go. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it, is to copy it from right there. There we go. Oh, I did buy me a new router. I shopped all day yesterday and decided I got me a D-Link that does have WRT firmware. You got to get rid of some of these extra words here. Version 8. It does have a DD-WRT firmware available for it. So if I don't like the firmware, I'll be able to do this. Or if I think it's getting too old and insecure. But it had good reviews, and I looked and looked and looked. I had originally thought I would probably get either a Netgear or another maybe another TP-Link, and then I looked at Linksys, but they're too expensive, and all of them had lots of trouble with dropping Wi-Fi connections, and I don't. That's what I'm trying to remedy is exactly that problem. So that D-Link seemed to have the least problems with that, and it said it had good range, but we'll see. I won't go into showing it and everything right now, but okay. So here's the one I had on there, 13064. See, it doesn't. That says pre-SP2. Okay, they both say pre-SP2 though. 14896 is what I think I just put on there. But so how do I tell what I've really got? That's what I'm wondering here, because this one, they had the same name. This one here, microgeneric. If I go to here, it just has the same name, and I just renamed it so that I would know which one was which file, and so that they wouldn't try to overwrite each other in my folders. So what I don't know is, do I have it on there or not? See, DD-WRT. I know somewhere I have some screenshots of this page before I did this, but I don't know. I didn't keep good track of them. They're probably going to be some in my main machine, but I don't want to go through them right now on the video. 8710 micro. 8710 micro. Now that must be the actual date that it was made. Even the date that they give you on the website is 9/7/2017. That must be the date that the file was uploaded instead of the actual release date. So I don't know. Well, let's just go back and look through the firmware a little bit. Oh, that's a screenshot. It's like something seems wrong about the size of that window. There we go. Now, so yeah, the WAN IP is 10.105. So yeah, that is the TrendNet router. Okay. Radio was on channel 3, so it didn't change that. 54 megabits is the speed of the Wi-Fi. That's the max you're going to get out of the laptop. Same name, same channel. So I'm sure that the security is still the same. Same settings, and the password I'm sure is still the same. What other kind of security do we have? Oh yeah, the firewall. It doesn't. It says SPI firewall once you get in there, but it doesn't tell you. Well, there it says firewall. Okay. What else? Setup. Well, so I already did a speed test, didn't I? Yeah. Let's do. Did I? Since I've got what I think is a new firmware on there. I've already forgotten. Boy, last few days I felt so bad I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even hardly stand to watch videos. I wasn't feeling good. My brain, it'll work and not work. It never works really good anymore like it used to. I still try to do everything I can. I'll always say to myself, I do what I can when I can, if I can. All right, let's see. Well, that side is giving you a little more, looking a little faster than 30 something. Looks like it's gonna be 43 or something like that. 41. There it is. It's finished. 41.83. So I might not have got a bunch of those screenshots I thought I was getting. Let's go back to this one again. No, let's go to this one. Speakeasy. The original, I used to use it a lot. I don't know if it was the original or not, but I used to use it a lot. I know it's one of the older ones. It's also one with lots and lots of ads. I don't think this web browser has any ad. No, it does too. It has ABP. I might have it like set to not block only block the most intrusive ads, which I find that it doesn't mean it won't block blinking ads, and the blinking ads are what I can't stand. Look, those aren't blinking, but yeah, they're not blinking at least. Yeah, it's 39.6. So yeah, what I've been doing is hitting print screen and then hitting enter, and that's what I normally am able to do. But then this one, it brings that back up, and I think what was happening is after it does that, and I hit save as a couple times I did that, I think it was giving it another. I think it's another screenshot with that up. Yeah, it does. It makes another screenshot with that up in the window. That's what it was. I saw that had happened. All right, so no difference anyway. I really want to. Let's see if I can TFTP into that thing again. Let's try that again. Wait, can I just look at what files are on it? It's got a command line. Where is that? Might be able to just like list the files. Oh, it's up there. Where is it? Commands. Can't remember. Whoops. Can't type. Can I get rid of that? I don't think that's what you do. No, it's DIR would be normal anyway. This may not be a normal shell. It's not giving me any output. Oh, run commands. You can't just hit enter. Okay. You could write a script in there and then save it. Okay, eval line 1 dir not found. Okay. I don't really understand that. Oh, I'll go back to where I was so I can see it all. Can't remember. List? I'd have to go into I guess I can go into a terminal window in my regular system just to get the commands back in my head. SH eval line. This is not the kind of command line I'm used to. It's not giving me. It says not found. See if I was to open up a terminal here. Dir. See, that's what I thought. That gives me all the directories. I think list, no. I can't remember how you get to list files, but did list? Well, actually, see when I hit dir, I believe it'll give you the list of all the files and all the directories. Yeah, I believe so. Now I've got too much junk in there because I did it 2 or 3 times. But I am on the desktop, right? Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, see, it gives you the directories, and I'm in home Don, so there would be files in there too. Wait, no, that is just directories. I don't remember. There's some, that might be in Windows when you do list. I can't remember. Anyway. Help list files. No help. Try help or help man K files. that's going to be too long and involved. I am not good in the command line. Okay, so oddly enough, I think it did work. It did do deer, or did it not? Did it say not found? Yeah, it said not found. It says not found at the end of all that other stuff. So I better not keep giving it commands. I can break something. Okay. Let's go back to status. Make sure I didn't mess anything up. Looks okay. It's responding and everything. Okay. Oh, I didn't get it to run. I guess I could try running TFTP in the terminal. What terminal do I want? Console is one that I like. Let's try console. You could run a root terminal, but I don't want to really risk jacking things up. I want to see what happens if I just say TFTP2. Okay. .1.1. There we go. See, I don't know any commands to run. All I would know is what it would give you and the instructions on how to copy files over. But there we are. We're in a TFTP app in the terminal. But see, deer doesn't work in there. I know list. What else? List, deer. I can't think. There's one other command that might tell me that invalid command. List files. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. So can't find a TFTP program. I mean, there's only like one other possibility I can think of. And that is installing Wine and running that Windows app in there. I don't know how easy it is to. I don't even think that it would run it. I guess if I was going to try to run it, let's see, I don't have Wine installed on my other machine either, though. Wine is a Windows emulator that you can install and run some. Used to be quite a few. Now it's very, very few Windows applications in it. This is one that doesn't have any dependencies. It just runs. There's Wine. It just runs, all by itself. What else is in there? Benefit support. don't know what BNFM is. So dev tools, wine tricks. What are wine tricks? Oh, well, that might be something we're doing, but first let's get wine. Well, let's try it. If you can install them together, might be worth it. Okay. I knew there was some little GUIs to help you install stuff in wine that really did help. So. Oh, there's another one. That might be the one. I'm going to get it all where it can't do it. I'm going to try that. No more. Okay, to be installed, all that stuff. It's not really all that much. It's not like, most applications in Linux are not very large. The few things that are like LibreOffice, OpenOffice, stuff like that, like 350 megabytes. But see, these are just 1,710 kilobytes. And I mean, I think that's just, oh, I'm not sure. That might have been just that file. I don't think that's, you can see what's going on. Like, yeah, see. Actually, that might be the total for all of it. See, that does not much. Biggest thing in there is 42 megabytes right there. Well, now there's some more stuff coming up. Okay. But, yeah, I don't think this stuff is all that big. And watch me have to reboot to get wine running or something. But what the heck. I don't think I have that app. Let's see. Do I have a console running? Oh, I think that's this happened. Yeah, I didn't do that. I think that came up during these installs, so I'm not gonna. I've started to close it. I thought, no, wait. Okay, so changes applied. Okay, now let's see if we can get wine running here. Okay. Run wine. That's what we got. Usually if it's like that, it's not something we'll start up. We'll see. If it looks like that, it doesn't have an icon or anything. Most of the time, most apps you can just run right away. You don't have to reboot to. But there's certain things, especially maybe wine, I can't remember for sure, might actually have to have a reboot before it'll run. And I can do that. I mean, it's not like I can't, but I'll have to reset up my remote desktop and all that, but it's not doing anything. Okay, well, we didn't want to rush it too much. Let's see. I don't think I have that app on here because I didn't copy it over because I didn't think I knew I couldn't use it. So, oh, well, I could get it from the website easier than doing all that. I keep forgetting, I'm sitting here. What do I do? Open up a whole new browser? Looks like I may have. Let's close these extra apps. Yeah, Linksys. I did not need an extra copy of the browser. Okay, there's the DD-WRT. Can you go to their website from there? No. I just want the TFTP app. That should be all over the place, you would think, but you may have to. The only way I know to get to it quick and easy is to go to the database and look up your router. I might still have that name in my Yep, still got it in my keyboard. That's one nice thing about remote desktop. You can you know, share your keyboard. You can share your clipboard, copy and paste between machines. That's what I'm looking for right there. Okay. I have to scan it with Virus Total. I scanned it the other day when I downloaded it, but I have to do it again. I just can't resist it. Last thing you want is to get something that's bad. Okay, it's clean. Scanned by 65 scanners, and this is staying up. So all I gotta do now is just hit save. A lot of times it goes away, and you gotta like do that and say highlight it, and then right click and say open link. I don't have to do that. Okay, very good. It's very, very small. So now go back in here and move it into that folder so that I will know where it is. Okay. I'll double click on it and see if it tries to open with wine. That might work. Try to run it in wine. Let's see. Nope. It says error occurred. Cannot open the file as an archive. Oh, I should have said open, right click, open with, Q for wine. Let's try that. It's the only one showing up. Cannot find executed wine server binary. Make sure that the binary is available. Probably do need to reboot then. It probably will start with First Start Wizard. Welcome to First Start Wizard. It'll help you to make all necessary steps for the wine thing to work. Okay. Wine bin. Okay, it's finding that, I think. Rest of it. Specify the wine server binary. I don't know where that is. See wine in there anywhere? It's going to be off somewhere. I don't know where. Let's see. Bar. Where's bar? No, not bar. That's for servers, actual servers. Lib. User, USR, user share, user lib, user share. Let's go to share first and see. No. Oops, share. Yeah, there we go. Wine gecko. Do I want wine? Probably wine. I don't know which one is it. It is though. What about wine gecko? I'm hitting the keyboard. I'm hitting W on the keyboard, by the way. Images, resources. Wine GK. I got the wrong one. Oh, okay. Wine MSI. Wine gecko MSI. Oh, gecko. That's the web browser. Okay. For wine. Generic PPPD. I don't think any of that's a server executable. I think that might pretty well set itself up in a reboot. I believe it did in Fedora always. I didn't ever have to go do all that stuff in Fedora. Let's see, desktop sharing. Okay, I'm gonna have to try a reboot. That's all I can do. To even think about trying it. There we go. Now once it reboots, I can try it. But what we got going here? I didn't realize I left that. Well, my mom, I didn't realize I had left that up and going. But since it's up and going, I'll check my stream. Again, not on the internet. That's I was going to say that's way behind. Okay, that's good. Now, I was wondering, I'll close that app until I need it again. It's like it was cleaning the hard drive or something, doing some maintenance there during that reboot. Not, it's already done though. It's already rebooted. Okay, let me get up here and log in. I gotta. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, now I'll have to log into the Wi-Fi too. Yeah, for instance, to connect to the to connect to the desktop, I mean the laptop at the IP address that I'm used to that I'm used to using all the time here. Actually, it's the only way I can get to it is since it's on the Wi-Fi. It's connected to the same router that my desktop's on. Now the wired connection is connected to a different router, and you can go from the back router to the front one, like from the furthest away from the modem towards the modem, but you can't go from the TP-Link backwards to the others because the firewalls will stop you, and I don't want to turn off the firewalls because I want all the machines to be protected as they can be. Oh, I didn't look at what password it was asking for. It was looking for the KDE wallet password. Now it wants the Wi-Fi password. Kept typing in the Wi-Fi password and it wasn't working. Finally, I said, "What?" So now I should be able to connect to it. Let's see. No, wait, not until I open up KRFB. I don't know. Well, you don't really want that remote desktop running all the time anyway, but now what? Oh, the software updates. I've never seen. I've never had a machine ask for so many daggone passwords. I mean, the software updates is just because I don't have it set up, but all that other stuff, it should just log in, and the rest of it shouldn't be asking you all that crap. I don't know why it's like that by default. And I don't really want to fiddle around trying to figure out how to set it up. I know I used to love doing that stuff. I used to love learning about it, but Linux or any operating system. But now I've been doing it for so many years. I just want them to work the way I'm used to them working. I'm getting to be a cranky old man. I've learned. I still like learning, but I guess I'm tired of learning about Linux distros, and I just want them to work and be my tools that I can, and I just want to. Anyway, I definitely have gotten to where I want everything just to be the way I'm used to it. But this laptop, Fedora has finally grown to the system resource usage size that this dual core laptop can't handle it anymore. Can't handle the new versions, and I want to run the newest versions that I can of operating system, so it's secure. So that's why I'm going back to using Debian. I'm using Debian on my older machines now. What I'm doing, because it is very lightweight, and it just runs great. I mean, where you've seen me, I just run like a top, even through remote desktop. So that's good. There we go. We're back up. Okay. Now, do you think we can run wine again? First, let's look and see if wine will start up or anything. Okay, there's Q for wine and wine. I clicked on run wine before. Let's see what that Q for wine will do. Cannot find or execute the wine server binary. Huh. I'm going to hit cancel on that, and let's try. I wonder if run wine would get it up and going. Whoops, what happened? I tried to use the mouse that time and it went away. Okay. Go back into Crusader, see if I can run TFTP. And normally you should be able to say run with wine. Instead of just that Q4 wine, you should be able to say run with wine so-and-so, so-and-so. Well, it updated. That wasn't too many updates. Let's see. Well, let's go. How do you go to just seeing all that? There we go. Seeing all the applications. That's all that shows up. It's not like it normally is. Normally you'll be able to see a whole wine menu. So that was not. Well, if you ever wanted to know how to install wine, well, that's kind of how to do it, but normally it just runs. I haven't messed with it much at all in the last about 3 years or so. I've had it on some systems. I've still got it on my old Fedora 14 system, and it just runs. It's just always. What happens is if you go to the menu and open up wine, then it starts it up. It doesn't run all the time. It runs in the background. You don't really want that. It's using up resources for nothing. There's another thing to do with wine that. Let's see, I'm trying to think, is there another way? Well, my other laptop, my Windows laptop, I could hook up. I guess I could have already done that. I do have a Windows XP laptop that I could run this executable on, and I kept thinking I don't want to use that, but I just remembered one day last week I spent a whole day on it, and I did get it all. I took out all the applications that I didn't need on there, and I finally got it running better. It's still not fast as it should be because it's just XP. It'll run on 512 megabyte RAM, and it's got 2 gig of RAM. It is only a 1.6 gigahertz machine, single core, but it is running. I mean, before it was so slow, it would take like 3 minutes to open up an application, or a minute to open up most applications, and I swear some of them did take 3 minutes. And so, I didn't want to use it for this. But plus I couldn't do remote desktop into it, I don't think. Maybe I could. I probably couldn't handle it even if I have an app. I don't think I have an app on it for doing that. Well, that darn Windows remote desktop's too hard to work with, too hard to get going. I haven't used it in many years, and I can't remember how to get it going. I used to just use VNC apps on Windows. That's actually where I learned it. But anyway, first learned how to use remote desktop. But I could never get the Windows native remote desktop working. I got it working once or twice, and then next time I tried to use it, it wouldn't work, and I couldn't figure out why. So, I can't think of anything. Let's see. Well, let's go back into Synaptic one more time. See if I missed something that I might want to. Why is that terminal window open up? Can't type today. Why is it opening up a terminal window alongside of Synaptic? That's not, I never see that doing that before. Maybe it's because I said show everything. Well, that closed the whole thing. So maybe I took a setting that made it do that, though. I did do that. I clicked on that thing that said show all the progress. That might be it. But it's opening up a terminal window alongside Wine just because I opened it up. Let's see. I mean, alongside Synaptic. Okay, let's look and see what other goodies there are for Wine. I don't think I need any. Development files. The Wine Gecko, that's actually the web browser module. See, it installed a lot of that stuff by default when I installed Wine. I knew it would do mostly, I figured it would do everything it needed. What's this? Development. Front end for Wine. Play on Linux, that's the one. Maybe it'll help me. Play on Linux is the one. Maybe it'll find the stuff I need. Chilico, Manager Books, no. IPL, no. Oh, for launching Windows executables directory. Well, directly. Well, I need that. Okay. Need to be able to do that. And it's 64-bit. I didn't remember this is 64-bit operating system, so it's doing the 64-bit version of Wine. It's all a work in progress. Tools, dev tools. All this stuff says may not work. Okay, that's all I want to try. Yeah, see, curl is going to be installed. So we'll just go ahead and do that. It's not, or in Debian, I mean, there may be more. I kind of think there might be more things available in Fedora than there is here in this Debian system to do with Wine. But if you can find an app that'll help you, you know, that you want, and you can install them pretty quick most of the time. And any Linux distro with this graphic user interface anyway. Okay, that was done. I didn't even bother to read it, but now let's see. Let's take it a little slower here and see, make sure I'm not messing things up. I forgot to check on that. I wanted to make it quit doing that terminal window when I'm try play on Linux. Surely I don't have to reboot to get that to come up. Huh. that's weird. It's like it just made up. I think that is something that's kind of like it's running the command for you instead of uh, hmm. I don't know. See, play on Linux. Maybe it would. Sometimes these menus, these start menus, don't show things until after a reboot. But sometimes they'll be in there and you can look through them. The search won't find them, is what I'm trying to say. It hasn't had time to index them yet. How do I go back? There. Make sure I'm showing what I think I'm showing. Look in the settings, see if there's any Y in the settings in there. No. Getting hungry. Not seeing it. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Oh, the domain window. Yeah, it may have a lot more stuff in there. Emulators. Play on Linux. Let's see if that'll work. Install the program. Let's try running a program. Please select a program. All right. Where do you select a program? See, this one I'm trying to run is not not an installable program. Virtual drive creator. New virtual drive? I didn't know it did that. That would be like, I guess, if you want to run a game or something. Let's click on install a program then. This I've had in recent years, I've had more success with this play on Linux than because it's got things kind of set up for you than with just trying to run things straight in line. It always does take a while to load up though. See, you can click on these all these different sections here. It'll give you apps that are already available, and you can just some of them will run and some of them won't though. On my Fedora systems anyway. But some of them you can do remember you like if you have the executable you can run it. Okay, so okay, that's not what I want. See, a lot of these will just install 7-zip or whatever. Kindle. Total Commander. Yeah, that would probably work. The file manager. Development. Now these you have to have like the licensed software like Dreamweaver and stuff like that. But it will help you to get them installed and running. bunch of, I guess most of those are old games. I don't know. I don't do games. So. But if it's freeware or whatever, then it'll be in there and you can just click on it and install it. Internet Explorer, Firefox. If you did need to run Internet Explorer, then you could run it in Wine, you know. See, there's QuickTime Player and stuff. I've spent some time messing with some of this stuff. See, Office. There's Microsoft Office. Now, if you had licensed versions of those software, then you could run them. Other... Somewhere it tells, you know, like supply your own executable. I don't remember where. Okay. I don't want to. I mean, I might could click on explode. It might take forever. Well, you know, it never is really quick to install Windows software, so I don't want to try to install anything. I don't need Internet Explorer. I'm just curious. Okay. Configure. New. Okay. I think it by default already has a virtual machine to run. What happened there? Run a file. Let's see. Yeah, well, how do you select a file to run? I don't see the place to oh, install non-listed program right there. Do not tick the box. Run. Actually, I want to run it. Play on Linux is not ready to WinXQ to ensure that the results will be comparable from one computer to another, and to avoid regressions, we specify a working Wine version for each program. This Wine version will quickly become out of date, but we won't change the installer until new tests are made and it takes time. For this reason, please do not any bug report, ask support on WinHQ forums, so-and-so play on Linux if you want to help the project, some tests in order, so do not hesitate to go on our website. Thank you. Okay. Now then, welcome to Play on Linux manual installation. But I don't know. I'm not going to do an installation. I just want to run it. We'll see. All the tools. Warning, I will to guarantee your application will work perfectly. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to do a new virtual drive. Okay. I don't have a virtual drive. Maybe I need to make a virtual drive. I didn't know you had to do that. Where was that thing that said new virtual drive? Update instructions. Oh, look, it opened up a web browser. I think this is going to be, no, that's Conqueror it opened it up in. That's the default for KDE. Okay, play on Linux. This has turned into a lot longer thing than I wanted it to be. Spend more time trying to figure out how to get the TFTP working. Oh, I think I had 2 of those open. What did I get into? Plugins, file associations, internet. Okay. I don't even remember where I got into that. Oh, in configure. say new. Virtual drive creator. Well, I'm on a 64-bit, so let's go with 64-bit. Or will that? Yeah, that'll work. You can run 32 bits. Well, I don't see anything in the window. Whoops. I don't know. I guess we'll just give it my own name here. Okay. Well, look. I did make a new one. There's a default and a Don's line. Couldn't find the it says it's going to download some .NET applications to make them work. See, that's what is cool about this. Some of that stuff that's a real pain to try to set up yourself. You remember ever trying to get all the .NET stuff installed and working in Windows XP? This, I don't know what version of when you could choose anything from used to, like, well, I think the oldest you can go to now is XP. You can do XP Vista 7, I think, and Wine, regular Wine. The play on Linux is I don't remember. I really just kind of I didn't mess with the operating system part. I just tried to install a couple of apps, and some worked, some didn't. But I really didn't have any real need to use them in Wine. I just all the apps, most all the apps I use, I just use them in Linux. Okay, piece select a program or a virtual drive to configure. Okay, there we go. System. Debug plugs. Wine. Oh, that's cool. Components. All kinds of like stuff there. Display. Miscellaneous. Run an executable file in this drive. Let's see. Now, maybe this is what I've been looking for all this time. There it is. Open. Whoops. Okay. So we can't run it, I guess. Let's go try it in default and see. No. So the one I made, it's there, but well, this is what I was afraid of. All that just to find out that it won't run. So, I mean, maybe there's a way to make it run. But I certainly don't want to keep messing with it. Okay, let's leave that like it is. I want to see if there is a TFTP Gui app. I may have already done this. I used to know my passwords, at least most of them, but I've been changing passwords, making, new ones lately, and building new machines and stuff, so I can't remember any of it. What do I want? Oh, okay. wanted to know. Oh, try TFTP client. This is in Fedora 23. Now, I'm not in the domain system anymore. I don't think I ever did that to see, you know, like, sure, I just know there's bound to be, there should be several to choose from. And it won't help. I didn't try this before because I can't, you know, it won't help me to have it on this machine. But now I'm just to the point of like, what? Maybe if I could find the name of the app, maybe the synaptic, you know, search is not working the way I expect it to because I'm used to using the Yum search, you know. And maybe I can find the name of the app and then I can go look for it in Synaptic. I have done that recently, so that has happened. It's got a good search, but it's not the one I'm used to using anymore. I used to use it. rcurl. FTP, FTPS, and TFTP uploads and downloads. That'll do it all, but I don't know if that's a GUI or application. I don't think it is. And boot param-d, that's for a TFTP boot server, so you could like boot operating systems over the network, I think, stuff like that. Yeah, Distros clients. I don't really want that. I wouldn't want that on my regular machine that I use every day. Those protocols are not secure, and if you're sending all that out, you know, I mean, it's really should only be sending out on my local network. But if it did get out into the network internet, they always warn you with the TFTP or Telnet or any of that stuff. You know, watch out because it can be broken into pretty easily if you've got a TFTP server running and stuff. Most of them don't have a password. This one's talking about having passwords. That like it would do a lot. That's libcurl, okay. Oh, and that's already installed. It has the client and the server classes. Okay. The client. TFTP provide very little security and should not be enabled unless it is expressly needed. You'll always see those warnings. So what I was kind of thinking, okay, now they're running a TFTP server on the routers by default, and I was like, I guess they have some, I guess hopefully it at least only allows local connections, you know, because otherwise I got to thinking, well, heck, if that TFTP server was accessible from the internet, somebody could overwrite your bin file from the internet on your router, you know. So, I was like, So, but surely, I mean, you know, the DD-WRT, the WRT, actually, OpenWRT is the mother of DD-WRT, I believe. So, I think that they have that figured out. You know, they've got something going that I just haven't read about, haven't seen. About security, I mean, because that's one of the main things they're trying to do is make the older routers more secure, or any routers more secure. It just usually you end up older routers being supported because it takes a long time to write, you know, the software for them. depending when you're dependent on volunteers, you know, and yourself, perhaps if you're the one running the project or whatever, in your spare time, you know. I'm just trying to figure out, is this one a server or a client? This is a client. Okay, so it wouldn't be serving anything up. And then what was the other one? Okay, I think that's just a setup, you know, a settings interface. Don't want that one. Let's see, okay, so I don't need any of the others. Or it's client and server. Yeah, I don't want both of those, but I want the R curl and TFTP. I'm gonna do a screenshot of that before I just do the install. Okay. Yeah, on my Fedora 23, see it counts down 5 seconds and it takes a screenshot and that's it. That's all there is to it. Of course, I'm using Shutter, different program than what's the default. I don't even know what the default is in KDE. The default in Made, I think, is still Genome Screenshots, I think, the original program. But let me grab I'm gonna get me a chocolate nugget here. Probably gonna I kind of wanted to get somewhere before I quit. I felt like I'd gotten somewhere. Where is it I'm trying to get now? I think I'm gonna have to quit. I'm just too hungry, getting tired. But I think what I'm going to end up doing with this thing is setting it up as a wireless repeater and seeing if it will be of any use that way. If I can get that all set up, that's going to take a long time to get it set up right. I've got some more things to learn. Actually, I might have to go back and read some more, because I remember finding a bunch of pages that looked like they would tell me everything I needed to know. Some of the things that I don't know about it, you know. Yeah, you search for TFTP, you don't find anything. FileZilla, but I don't think it'll do SFTP, but it won't do TFTP. Yeah, what's the name of those apps? Usually you don't have to search for the actual names of the apps, you know, but sometimes they just don't. That's one good reason to have screenshots, because, you know, I don't remember none of those names, any of that. rcurl, rbytops, what? I'll bet you those are all. Where's my little search? See, if they don't show up in the desktop search, when you just install a search program, they don't always show up. But usually they do. But yeah, I don't see anything. The one thing I really miss, if you're wondering why I just guess at whether or not it's a graphic user program or not, if it doesn't tell you in the description, if it tells you in the description, you're good, you know. But sometimes it doesn't say anything one way or the other, and it actually is a graphic user program. And the old, I don't remember the name of it, but the old application managing app, you know, install and uninstall apps that Fedora used to use, had a way to organize it. And you know, like you want to see only graphic user programs, you want to see only command line interface programs, you could do it that way, either way, or see them both, see them all. And it's real simple to do that and switch it on and off. I can't find a way to do that in Yum or DNF. I'm still using Yum on Fedora 23 because it supports it, but the newer versions you got to use DNF, period. So that was, I got some new programs, but if I type TFTP in there too, I know I can't go there from here. It said I did. I shouldn't be able to do that because this is on my 192.168.0.1 router. And now what would I do? None of the normal commands that I know work in that program. I don't know. It did not give me an error saying I couldn't go there. So that's something. But I still don't have an app. The only one that I think might accidentally do it would be FileZilla, but I don't guess it does. I remember an app that might have done it back in the olden days. It was called Genome something or other, and it was a twin panel file manager. Let's just see if I can connect to it, period. I didn't even give it a port. See if it throws up anything. Maybe we put in anonymous. I should have put in my username. This timed out. Could not connect to server. Abort previous connection. Try. If it actually talks back to me, then I can put in my password. And I may have to. I guess if I don't put a port in there, what does it do? Go to port 21. Yeah, the default's 21. Okay. I guess that's what it does. But there's no port. Port 21 is not open. I already know that. So I'll try that 69 that I found in the firewall that was supposed to be the TFTP port, but I never have seen it answer to that either. See, it's trying on port 69 now. I don't believe that I can get to 1.1 from here. Okay, close this app. I'll just try it in the web browser, because if you could get there from anywhere, it'd be the web browser. You could get to the web interface. Check our live stream first. Oh my gosh, I knew I'd been on here a long time. 3 hours. I think that was something odd. I don't think that it was actually connected to 1.1. I don't think I can get there from this machine. Unless that TFTP can go through through the different routers without any trouble, you know, without anything stopping it. Yeah, see, it's not coming in. I don't think it will. So I was trying to think of something to click on to get it off my. That's going to use up all my memory. Well, it doesn't matter because it's not going there. If it would have popped up pretty, you know, begin to pop up pretty quickly if it was going to go there. So, oh yeah, I have rebooted, hadn't I? That's why that's not. I put those two little icons down there so I could quickly get to two of my most used apps. But I also noticed that it opened up another version of another window, a whole nother Firefox instead of, you know, just go. I thought it would just go to Firefox when I clicked on that. It didn't. So it's, you know, still up and running and everything's good there. Let's go on the administration page. And let's see if there's any clues in there as to how I can. Well, my whole point is here, I've pretty much forgot my whole point. My whole point here with trying to TFTP into it, number one, I just want to see if I can do it because it tells you in the, you know, all the stuff I read on DD-WRT. I wanted to try doing it, but, and I want to see if, well, obviously, I wanted to see if my update was even, if I could tell if my update was successful or not, because I did do something a little odd by renaming that file. Firmware upgrade, back up. I've already backed up the bootloader and everything, so could back up these settings, but they're really not all that important right now. I don't have anything special in there. Keep alive. Schedule reboot. Now I'm going to probably do, if I do use this, I'm going to do that. I'll tell it to reboot itself. What's the watchdog? Oh, I don't know what that is. I'd have to learn. But I will schedule it reboot. If I start really using it to reboot like once a day or twice a day if you could, or like once in the middle of the night or something. Because I will probably, if I do use it as a wireless repeater, I'll stick it in the living room or the garage, probably the living room. And then if it automatically reboots itself, hopefully it will help this whole problem of losing. Well, I may not need it though. When I get my new router, I may not even need it. It may be strong enough that it won't have any more problems. That's why I decided, once I saw this thing's not working good, it didn't look like it's going to be dependable. Yeah, actually, I probably won't put it in the living room anymore. I'll probably get that new router. I probably won't have a need for it in there. And I might put it out in the garage and see if it works any better than the ZoneNet that's already out there. And I'll do this. I will set it up as a repeater for my main router, my new main router, my D-Link that I'm getting. And but I'll probably only turn it on when I'm out there needing to use it, because in the winter it'd be too cold, in the summer it's too hot, and that may be why that ZoneNet hardly works anymore, because I kept it out there. Sometimes I'd let it run sometimes I'd forget, let it run in the summer when it's 103 in the daytime, you know. No telling how hot it was in the garage with it all closed up. I don't know if it'd be hotter or cooler in there than outside, but it gets really, really hot in there because I've been out there. I was out there working. When I was feeling better last summer, I worked out there for 2 months working on my truck. Never did get it finished. I was just trying to get it all back in good shape, and that's still got my last command in there. Take that out. Save startup, save shutdown, save firewall. Yeah, I don't know about all that. Okay. I wonder if you have to. I might even. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe you have to run a command to start up the TFTP app. For all I know, I'm not gonna do it. I'm tempted to. Kind of in that mood of just fiddling around with stuff, and that's just how you mess things up. For example, my DVD recorder, which the recording part don't work, but the ATSC digital tuner does work, and I could turn it on anytime I wanted and watch TV, because that old CRT TV doesn't have it. It's an analog tuner. And the other day I got over there, the time changed, and I went over there to set my time. I have a VCR over there. That's how I actually get my laptop signal into the TV, through the VCR, and everything routes through, I think, through the VCR to the TV is how I have it. And actually, it's got a digital tuner, so it had the time right. It automatically set its own time. But then, actually, my remote quit working on the old TV, and it was one of those newer multi remotes, and it quit working. And I didn't see why the remote would quit, but I have had a couple others quit, so it might have just wore out, quit working for whatever stupid reason. Because I got to thinking, well, maybe the TV receiver's not working right or something. The little receiving eye on it. But so, because I had tried some of the remotes, and I thought, I'm going to try one more time there's a little section on that DVD remote for turning your TV on and off, and changing the channel and doing the volume. And I thought, that's all I need. Turn it on and off, change the channel, do the volume. So I tried to remember how to do it. I didn't want to get the manual out, and didn't work. And then I got into the I was trying to follow. I was into the settings, and I tried to follow the instructions in there, and tried it once, and it didn't work. And I tried it, and I just had to try it one more time. I should have left it alone. Everything was still fine. It just didn't work. Well, I got it stuck, and it was waiting for me to give it like some numbers or something for the remote, and it made the remote not work anymore. And so now the dang thing, I couldn't control it. And then I tried resetting it. I got the manual out. I think I ended up spending 2 hours that evening. And all I was going to do is go to bed. And I noticed the time had changed on my computer. And my other clocks were wrong and everything. I was just getting ready. I was just fixing to go to bed. Is all I was going to do. And I sat there and spent probably 2 hours fiddling with that stupid thing. Got it all jacked up. And then, like a couple of different times in the next couple of days, I fiddled with it again for a few minutes. Not a long time, but a few minutes, 5-10 minutes here and there. And I reset it 2 or 3 times and did all this crap. And now all it's doing is the clock's blinking, and I can't set the time. And it still comes up with that little message at CV1 or whatever the heck it is. It's a Panasonic brand, but anyway. And I think I remember doing that to it before and fixed it somehow, but I can't get it to. I've left it unplugged overnight twice. Now it's been unplugged 2 or 3 nights in a row. But when I plug it back in, it doesn't automatically set the time. It doesn't go back. When I try to reset it, it doesn't reset and fix that part. And the remote won't do anything. It does see the remote, because when I hit the remote, any button on the remote, it brings up that CV whatever 1. It's on. There's 1, 2, and 3, and it's on 1, which is what should be my remote. I'm mumbling. Anyway, don't jack with stuff if you don't know what you're doing, and especially if you're not tired and you don't feel good. Leave the technical stuff alone unless your brain works. That's what I'm trying to say. So what am I telling myself here? Broadcom chip. That's my chip, BCM 5354 chip. Oh, revision 2. It tells you everything about it. Wow. I went and looked all that stuff up, and I put it in I put that a whole video of all the results of looking all that stuff up, because I just thought that would be pretty interesting to find out everything about that I could, because I had already taken it apart and took pictures of of it and everything, made videos of it. Actually, what I did was go back, and I didn't try real hard to take good pictures because I was making a video, and I went back and did screenshots during my video of where I had it apart and to get the chip numbers and stuff. And actually, I didn't have a good shot of the main Broadcom chip. That's the main chip that it runs on. And that's what you need to know for sure whether this firmware will run on it too, on your router. And some routers that aren't like listed in the list, if they have that, say if it had that chip, then well, don't just go by that. But if it had that chip, there's a good chance it would run, say, this firmware that I'm using right here. But this is for the Linksys. Anyway, I learned about that years ago, so it's pretty foggy on my memory about how all that worked. But some of the other, like say Tomato Router, that they tell you how to do that, how to figure out if one that's not in their list might work. And then they'll always say, you're doing this at your own risk. You brick your router. But anyway, from what I remember, Tomato Router was more likely to run on some of the ones that aren't popularly listed and done in WRT and DD-WRT and some of these others. But yeah, the only other way that I can think of to try to TFTP in there is with Windows. And I want to do it, but you know what? Like I'm sitting here telling these stories about being tired, and I'm rambling because I'm tired. And I kept thinking, I just should grab that laptop and hook it up. But you know what? I'm so tired, all I'm going to do is go in circles. So maybe, obviously, I'm going to have to get back onto it again in order to, of course, I don't need the Windows machine. I definitely wouldn't even want to use the Windows machine to set the settings, and it would be too slow. But yeah, I mean, if I want to try that, I opened up that TFTP program in my I have a Windows XP emulator. Let me shut this machine down. I have a Windows XP on my on this system, on my Fedora 23 system, and laptop, you're down now. Anyway, I could get that other laptop out, and of course I just have to point a camera at it or something. But what am I trying to say? Here in VirtualBox, I did this one time in another video. Went ahead and started up my Windows XP, and again, if this thing had two NIC cards in it, then I could use one to connect to the router and another one to connect to the internet. And I suppose I could do that. I mean, I actually do have one. This is not a big old desktop. It's a Lenovo i5. It's basically a laptop in a box, but it has one PCI slot. I suppose if I could put another network, it's got an onboard network. I think it might even be gigabit. I can't remember, but anyway, I could put a network card in it and connect to the router. I thought about it, but I didn't want to do it. It's not really hard. I mean, it's not hard to get to it. It's easy to get to, but it's got to kind of finish getting booted up really before it'll respond. Anyway, I opened up that TFT program. That's how come I know what it's like. And I think I'll just show you, since I've been going on and on and on trying to get to it, get it to work. So if I go into my downloads folder on my Lenovo i5, there's the TFTP execute. Just run it, and that's all it does. You don't install it or anything. There you go, server, password. I didn't think about that, but I'm almost certain I couldn't have got. Oh, just because the yeah, just because the laptop's not running doesn't mean the because it did act like it. Now let's just see. Oh, that says upgrade. That's only for one purpose, and that's writing a bin file to it. So you put in the IP address. Now, I don't guess you have to put like TFTP in front of it or anything. Not sure. When upgrade fails, the program will retry 3 times. Use password. So you know, it might be admin if it was a brand new system, but if you put your own password in there, then you'd know the password, and then you pick your file. Which, you know, if you were really doing that, then you would my documents. Oh, that's not. I'd go. You know, I would get back into the folder on my server there, and pick a bin file, and then you put your password, pick a bin file, and then say upgrade, and so that would upload. So this is only for one purpose. I didn't remember that. I didn't pay much attention to it. It's only for one purpose, and that is to upload a bin file to the router. That's all it is. So it's not like a full-fledged TFTP program. So I'm not going to click on the upgrade. Heck, I don't know what it would do. I mean, it's just going to error out no matter what, because, I mean, I could type, I know what the password is. I could type it in there, but I don't want to tell it to write a file to it. I really would like to know if I'm on, well, I already know I can't connect from here. I tried it a while ago on my web browser. See that? Yeah, okay. But that's the way. This is what I mean, if you want to run Windows programs in your Linux system, if you've got enough you know, hardware to run VirtualBox, WinXP or whatever in VirtualBox, you can run Windows 7 or whatever. I actually went ahead and fully installed this and used the license since you know, I don't use it anymore. This is one that I bought the CD for back when it very first came out, and I ran it for many years on a hardware machine, and that machine doesn't have it on there anymore. You know, it's got Linux on it. So I just went ahead and used that install CD and the license and fully installed it in my VirtualBox here. So it's a complete Windows XP system. You know, got vast antivirus on it and everything, and all the programs that I might want to use. And the cool thing about it is, like any twin or duplicate file finder, I can actually run this on this Linux system that it's running on. It works the way it works, the way you contact your, the way it connects to its host system is through a virtual network. So, and you have to set all that up and allow this to happen. But once you get it set up, it's just that easy. See, what I was doing was going through the virtual network to get to that TFTP. And you can even execute the file and run it over here on the Windows XP virtual machine. So it's pretty cool. I didn't use it much over the years because my machines weren't powerful enough. But finally, this machine, this quad core with 4 gig of RAM, is just enough to do it. You can do it. You can run a bunch of other programs at the same time. And you can't run any video intensive apps on this machine because it's only got 256 megabyte of video onboard memory, your video memory. But and if you have any kind of nicer, faster 6-core or 8-core machines or anything, then you can just run the heck out of it. You can run Windows 7 easy, you know, then, which would be plenty new to do, you know, just about. Well, of course, Windows 7 won't run some of the older apps, like it might not run the TFTP app good, I don't know. But any newer apps, you know, you could run. Now, if you're into gaming and stuff, you'd really have to have a super, well, you'd probably just want to put it, you know, you just if you're into gaming, you just want to dual boot your machine. You know, if you're into Linux and into gaming, but you needed Windows to run a certain game, then play on Linux. That's one of the main things they do with it is play games on a Linux system with it. But I would, and that's what I used to always do, because my systems, I would have, almost all my systems were dual boot. I'd have XP or 7 or something, you know, on one. I would divide the hard drive up and put XP on it or 7 on it, and then Linux, and then, but since then you like see, like I can just turn that on and, you know, boot it up and shut it down, and without rebooting my system. I don't. And most of the time when you do want a Windows app for a little while there, you also want to be able to use your files and programs and everything else that's on your Linux system. So it's a real advantage to that. But if you're just like, say, I want to play games, then you probably want to do dual boot, you know, or if you say whatever you want to do, you know, I don't know what it might be. Then it's dual boot would be give you the full resources of the machine for whichever operating system you're on. Depends on what you want to do. Okay, so as to what would work best for you. Okay. Well, anyway, that's what the program looks like. That's what I was trying to get running, and so yeah, if I really wanted to, let's see, I didn't find the TFTP app that, you know, so there's no real point in rigging this up to where I could plug this router into my desktop that I'm using here for my streams. I could just get that other laptop out and run that. Well, it wouldn't help. I'm glad I opened that TFTP program, because that's not what I was wanting. All I wanted to do, I thought it was a full program, like you know, like see what, like this. You can SFTP, you know, secure FTP with this Crusader, and I could browse the remote file system just as, you know, just like this right here. That's what I was wanting to do. I wanted to see what all was on it, and other apps like let's see. I don't think I have that app. Yeah, I don't have I type the password in again. Yep. Got it. How about that? I used to could type my passwords in really good and really fast because I knew them really well. But now, you know, when I don't know the password well and my fingers don't have the, as they say, the muscle memory of it. Let's see. I'm just really fumbling with the ever since I changed passwords. But you need to do that, so I'm, you know, not gonna go back to the old ones or anything. Lately, I have been fumbling a lot more with my typing, period. So I'm searching for genome, but what I'm looking for, I keep thinking genome disk, but that is not, that's a disk management app. I cannot think of what, oh, I know what the name of it is, Genome Commander. So once this search quits, if I don't see it right away, then I'll just search for Genome Commander. That's the app, and I don't know why I don't even have it on here. I guess because I hardly ever use it anymore because I like Crusader so much and it works so well. I don't think it does TFTP either, though. Just go down here to, oh yeah, it's not, go down to G. You can do that in here. You can click in the, genome, take you down to somewhere in the area anyway. Commander, there it is, Genome Commander. There's only one instance of it. It's only 6 megabytes. I don't think it does TFTP, but I don't think there's any reason why, I would like not want it. Well, there is one reason. I don't have a lot of space on this machine. This is one that I need to reformat, get rid of. It's a dual boot, but one time last year, I had like 3 or 4 Windows 7 systems. Most of them are. I think one of them was all by itself. The rest were dual boots, and evidently I got some sort of network virus and something somewhere, and I guess it traveled to all of them. And I worked and got one of them cleaned up. I scanned it 10 times. The other ones I scanned 3 to 4, 5 times. And then I thought, you know what? I still don't trust them. Only the one that I scanned 10 times, 10 or 11 times, finally came up clean. But then after that, I was like, you know what? I don't trust it. And I ended up reformatting that machine with just Linux on it. I did that. Oh, I think I did it for a specific purpose. That's the one I'm going to let my mom use while I'm upgrading her machine. I think that's the only real reason I did that. But and it's because that was the one that I would just only had Windows on it, and I would just use it via remote desktop and it was Windows 7. I mean, what just happened? Did it finish and not even really tell me? I don't think it told me. There it is, GNOME Commander. Open it up, close this. Whoops, I'm doing fast enough. Close this yum. Okay, so here it is. It has an old school look to it. Now, what I was wondering is this the one app? Okay, it does SMB, does Samba Network, the Linux way to connect to Windows networks. It's really good for that. And I don't know. I used to use it a lot because I actually discovered it, I think, before I discovered Crusader. But remote server, let's see. FTP doesn't look like it would do any other. I don't think it'll do anything like that. Okay, here we go. There's the list of what it can do. Public FTP SSH, FTP with login, Windows Share, WebDAV, Secure WebDAV, and Custom Location. Oh, really? Huh. Going on to, let's try my router. Let's just see if it can talk to it. See if it's running a TFTP server. Not a valid location. It'll probably say the same thing if I change it to. Let's see. Now it said you can do SSH. Access denied. Oops. It says access denied, and now it won't let me get out of there. I just remember it does some odd things like that, kind of hanging up. And there we go. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of quit using it. I think it got to where it didn't work very good on the newer versions of. Now let's do a normal. I know there's no SFTP server running. Actually, this router, you can do a regular. I don't have it running, but it actually has an FTP server. Yeah, I don't have it running. If you hit cancel, it doesn't work, but if you hit the X, it closes it. Yeah, so no, it's no different really. It doesn't support anything. SMB, actually, you can, if you want to SMB, you can just go up here and say would it be? Windows share. WebDAV. I actually don't use WebDAV enough to, like, I don't know what port it's on or anything. Let's see. It kept my address. Let's see. I know I don't have a WebDAV running on there. Oh, there you go. It crashed. I think that's why that's probably why I didn't already have it installed. I think it does that kind of thing a lot now. Holy crap. I forgot. Dadgummit. And you can be well, the whole time I was see, a while ago I switched to those two cameras thinking, it's about time for me to quit. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Here's the app I was talking about right here, and called Genome Commander. And I was going up here with the connections, and I was trying all these different things I could take up. It's got it'll do SSH, FTP, public FTP, Windows share, WebDAV, secure WebDAV, and custom location. I was trying to do custom location. I was trying to connect to my router, my TP link, because I knew I wasn't going to connect to the Linksys. And but it was just, that's what it was doing. And then one of the times I tried something and it crashed and closed. It just closed. So yeah, it's old school looking. It looks like Midnight Commander, but it will. Let's see. No, you can't type and go to a. Yeah, see, I love that about Crusader. You can just start typing, it'll go to. Oh, crashed again. See, it's. I think it's crashes a lot now. Probably gonna end up wanting to uninstall it. Now I've made so much videos, so I'm running out of space, and then I went and installed. Of course, 6 megabytes not a big deal, but of course there's probably a little more to that, some dependencies maybe and stuff. But I was staying at 19.5 gigabyte. So after I'm done with this, when I reboot the computer, it'll automatically back up to my Seagate expansion drive here. It'll ever come up, and then I'll delete those video files off the regular computer. And yeah, I don't use the two reasons I don't use there's two FTP connectors on that TP link. Number one, I found out, well, the first reason why, well, I guess I found out early on after buying it that they had real bad security problems, and I didn't want, and plus I kind of worried about it period before I even found that out. I didn't want my if you're gonna have backup, you don't want your backup drive being broken into from the internet. Your backup drive is the last thing you want broken into, so I didn't want to plug it in there. I got it working and played with it a little bit, but I didn't have that drive actually I had the router for several years before I got that drive. I just got the drive this year, but I already knew I didn't want to do that. And the other thing is it only supports standard FTP, not secure FTP. And the one thing I don't like about regular FTP is when you upload files with FTP, it gives it that day. That's the only choice you got of the day that you did it. And keeping the original file dates is very important to me for sorting them, especially videos. And for knowing, like when you're syncing them, whether or not you want to override them. It's one of the, like in Crusader, it heavily depends on that. And I use Crusader quite a bit. Now, all my backups, I use Lucky Backup. And it goes more deeper than that, and it's much more accurate. But you want, I always try to keep the original file dates on my files as much as I possibly can. Because it really gets confusing when you've got an older file with a newer date on it, when you're just trying to look at them and deal with them manually. So I think I upgraded the Linksys to the newer firmware version, but I couldn't even swear to it because there wasn't any feedback telling me exactly what was going on. But it's not hard at all. I mean, you saw how quick and easy that was, other than me getting confused because I expected it to reboot itself. But again, I think I told it not to reboot itself. So yeah, I could have went in there and I forgot to review that area. I could have went back in there and looked at it and seen if I could really understand the what it was saying in there. But I've already shut down the laptop now, and I'm really tired. And I think I keep saying, this is the longest video I've ever done. When I go really long, well, this probably is, again, the new longest video I've ever done, 3 hours and 32 minutes, which is silly. Because nobody's going to watch it. Well, nobody's going to watch anything over 30 minutes probably anyway. But they may do. A lot of people, I think, do what I do a lot. If a video is pretty long and I like it, but I don't want to see every little boring detail, I will go ahead and skip through it anyway. But that's kind of the nature of these live videos. I mean, they just end up getting long because when you're doing something live and you're not editing it down, this is how long it takes to do things, So, if somebody wants to skip through it, and what I do is I go back and skip through my own videos and find the spots, because I did it myself, so I kind of go, okay, this is where I did this or said that. I go back through and find the things I forgot. It's like pretty cool, really, just for my own self, just having memory backup, because my memory's bad these days. So especially if I leave something alone and then come back to it later, like a few weeks, a week or two, or a month or something later, I got a way to go back and pick it back up where I left off. So it's cool. All right. Well, I'm going to go now. Let's go ahead and get out of that. So the old Linksys it's running, but it's too slow to use from the wired for sure. And I'm kind of thinking, I haven't tested it, but I'm kind of thinking that the wireless, see, it was getting to where it was slowing down to the point it wasn't usable. And that's why I took it out of my daisy chain of routers and quit using it. And I don't think that's changed. I guess that it's really a hardware problem, not software. I thought maybe that it was just hoped that just software was so out of date that maybe the newer firmware would be able to keep up with the more data that's being going through them now, through the Wi-Fi and through the internet. I mean, really that part, the Wi-Fi is really more about, it's about, when you get on the Wi-Fi, you almost always get on the internet. But so internet, local network, whatever, I thought maybe it would be able to handle it better. I thought maybe it would manage the cache and the I thought I had that word, the other word, buffer. The cache and the buffer, I thought maybe would be able to handle it better, because that is one of the things they aim at trying to do with these firmwares, open firmwares, is try to make them handle cache and buffer better. And the other thing is I didn't know they did that, but they got that auto reboot, because that's really the only thing you can do when they get full is reboot them. So if it just automatically reboots every so often, then that's another way to solve your problem. The only thing is if you were using that as your main router, like I couldn't have that on my main desktop. It would it would may reboot right in the middle of my video, or if I'm downloading something, reboot in the middle of that. If you're watching a video on YouTube or whatever and it did that, you'd be aggravated, but it wouldn't be a big deal. Once it finished rebooting, your video would play again. But when you're in the middle of a big download, you're downloading a Linux distro that's 3.5 gig, you don't want that broken. And so you don't want an automatic reboot on your, as they say, your production machine. So So I went ahead and bought a new router. We'll see. I guess I will want to make a little video and show what it is I've got. Guess I'll do that. Wait till I get it. Show it. So, oh well, it was fun. I kind of hate that I waited until the poor old Linksys was so old and wore out that it was not doesn't seem like it's usable anymore before I finally got around it to really installing the DD-WRT on it. I really like it. Well, I mean, there's so much more things you can do with it. It's easy to navigate. So many features. But but I think that machine is just maybe pretty well had it. So it's dawn, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, eat my supper, and get ready for bed. It's 8 now.